A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke, chapter 1, verses 57 to 66, and verse 80. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. When Elizabeth was full term in her pregnancy, she gave birth to a son. Her neighbors and relatives, seeing that God had overwhelmed her with mercy, celebrated with her. On the 8th day, they came to circumcise the child and were calling him Zachariah after his father. But his mother intervened. "No, he is to be called John." But they said, "No one in your family is named that." They used sign language to ask Zachariah what he wanted him named. Asking for a tablet, Zachariah wrote, "His name is to be John." That took everyone by surprise. Surprise followed surprise. Zachariah's mouth was now open, his tongue loose, and he was talking, praising God. A deep, reverential fear settled over the neighborhood and all that Judean hill country people talked about nothing else. Everyone who heard about it took it to heart, wondering, what will become of this child? Clearly, God has his hand in this. The child grew up healthy and spirited. He lived out in the desert until the day he made his prophetic debut in Israel. The Gospel of the Lord.
Good morning. Let's listen to a short reflection according to St. Luke chapter 1 verses 57 to 66 and 80. The mouth and the finger. The veneration of John the Baptist spread throughout the world since the 4th century, with the monks of the early church, the Desert Fathers, beginning to live their ascetic in the Judean desert where the Baptist spent his life. They spread a special devotion to the Baptist. He is the patron saint of numerous dioceses. Shrines and churches are dedicated to him, beginning with the mother of all churches, St. John Lateran, founded by Constantine. However, John the Baptist is not a saint often approached for a miracle or intercession. Yet, he is so popular. How do we explain this? Perhaps one of the reasons is certainly Jesus' praise of the Baptist. Amen, I say to you, among those born of women, there has been none greater than John the Baptist. Mt 11 to 7 to 11. As artists picture John the Baptist, two symbols characterize him. One is a mouth that shouts. It is the voice crying in the wilderness, calling people to conversion, criticizing religious leaders and those who had abandoned their faith, and encouraging others to reform. Fearlessly, the individual confronted the king about his adulterous relationship, which ultimately led to severe consequences and the loss of his life. A second illustration depicts the gesture of John the Baptist pointing to the arrival of the Messiah. Here, too, John faced significant consequences when his own followers abandoned him, yet he persisted, understanding that the one he had foretold must become greater. The solemnity of the Nativity of John the Baptist encourages us to boldly proclaim the gospel and consistently direct attention to Jesus. We should remember that we are not the focal point of the mission, but rather Christ himself.